third. Matt Chapman on the money. And the Blue Jays come back to win it and leapfrog ahead of the Rays in the standings with a 7-2 victory here tonight.
Well, a lot of things to like about this game, and Alek Manoah, he did a terrific job. Springer with a long home run drought snaps it, and how about the pinch hit two-run double by Whit Merrifield on the first pitch, and this was another team win. A couple of three pinch hitters in that seventh inning, and they all came around to score as the Blue Jays came back from a deficit. Another come-from-behind win for the Blue Jays.
Pretty interesting series so far, to say the least, and two more games coming. The final, the Blue Jays 7 and the Rays 2. Time now for Sportsnet Central with Kennedy Vaca.
Full day of baseball at the Rogers Center and a lot on the go right now. In fact, happening on the network in Boston. The Yankees and Red Sox on Sportsnet 1. This one all tied up and looking like it's going into extra innings. Again, Sportsnet 1. Padres and Mariners streaming on Sportsnet now, and that game will move to Sportsnet 1 as soon as New York and Boston wraps things up. Hey everyone, welcome inside the studio, Sportsnet Central. He's Ken Reed. I'm Ivanka Osmak, and yes, another come-from-behind win for the Jays. Nice performance by Alek Manoah, who's not feeling 100%.
That's pretty awesome for a dude that had a bug in the old tummy.
I had to give a call at 2 a.m.
Yeah, because we were at the first game expecting Manoah to start, and man, he did. Mitch White was awesome. The 6 innings made for a pretty comfortable bullpen tonight, actually.
Absolutely, and the Jays getting plenty of offense, and you can feel like the relief in the seventh, especially when Springer hit that dinger. Okay, let's get more from Jamie and Joe. Gentlemen.
Ivanka, the Springer dinger will be discussed. So too will the growing legend of Alek Manoah, who was clearly unwell but didn't pitch like it. We'll get to that with Joe, but first, remember the last time the Rays and Blue Jays played a doubleheader here at the Rogers Center? It was right at the beginning of July. It did not go well at all for the Blue Jays in both of those games. So thank goodness, Joe, for the bench pieces contributing in that 7th inning.
Well, we talked on Blue Jays Central just a few hours ago. 3 left-handed bats in the Blue Jays lineup in Game 2 of this doubleheader for John Schneider against the righty Yanni Chirinos, but you knew that Kevin Cash would go to his bullpen eventually. He did with his lefties, and that's when John Schneider countered. Santiago Espinal enters this game in the 7th, draws the walk. Danny Jansen does the same, a couple of wild pitches, and then Bradley Zimmer comes up. Danny Jansen can run pretty darn good for a catcher, by the way, everyone. Catchers can run a little bit, you know, but Zimmer runs really well. And then Whit Merrifield, the 3rd pinch hitter of the inning, bounces this ball past the bag into the left field corner, and sure enough, that speed of Bradley Zimmer came in handy to put the Blue Jays ahead. George Springer kind of put a little stamp on it in this inning. You always like to add on. That's exactly what Springer did. Good to see him get that power stroke back. But I look at the guys that came into the ball game in that inning. Merrifield and Jansen and Espinal, they play a fair bit. Bradley Zimmer does not play a whole lot, and I can speak from experience. When you come into a game like that, and even if it's just as a pinch runner, you contribute to a critical victory for a playoff-bound team deep in September. You feel part of the team. You feel like you can high-five with everyone now that you actually contributed, and that feeling of contributing is a wonderful thing. And I just wonder, when John Schneider wrote that lineup out tonight, he saw all this playing out the way it did. You try to envision how a game would go. I'm sure he'd like to see his hitters get to some starting pitchers sooner or later.
Yeah.
But if not, you envision where the opponent will go to the bullpen. The lefties came in. He had his righties ready.
And it should be a good night of sleep for Whit Merrifield, too, given the less than auspicious start with the Blue Jays and a critical double that Cash, too, helped the Blue Jays go on to a victory. What can we say about Alek Manoah knowing that he was not well enough to start the first game of the doubleheader, in which the Blue Jays lost? There was some question as to whether or not he'd be available. He made himself available, and he made himself excellent yet again.
Remember a few hours ago when I said, I'll take Alek Manoah at 60 or 70% rather than a bullpen day? Well, that's what the Blue Jays got. from Manoah. We don't know how well he was feeling. He certainly was not himself, but this is what this guy is made of. He continues to show us that on any given day, he can lead his team to a victory. And he maybe not have been his best at sometimes with those sliders, but we know he loves that pitch. He will use it to both righties and lefties, but more importantly than anything, he took the baseball today. And when you take the baseball, when your day started out the way it did, because I'm sure we all found out around the same time this morning, wait, what? No Manoah for game one of this doubleheader? What are the Blue Jays going to do to cover 18 innings? Mitch White came to the rescue in game one of this doubleheader, but as soon as we all heard Alek Manoah would start game two, I think everybody just breathed a little sigh of relief. He pitches into the seventh inning. And again, more about this lineup needs to get going and get to these starters. Coming from behind is not easy. When you look at the turn of events in this series, with Bo's home run last night, that changed that game in a hurry because they weren't swinging it. Same thing today in that seventh inning.
Down to the field we go. Hazel May is with George Springer.
George Springer with a 2-run home run was his 20th of the season. You've been sitting on home run 19 for a while. At this part of the season, when guys are grinding both physically and mentally, what are you telling yourself at the plate when you've gone that stretch without hitting a homer?
I mean, I'm just trying to score the guy from second. You know, home runs. A home run's great, but you know it's about the team, so I'm just happy to help us win.
Speaking about the team, Whit Merrifield with a big 2-run double there to help give you guys the lead. He's been telling me that he would love to show you guys what he can do, and it's been tough sledding for him. Can you relate to being part of a new team and trying real hard to impress your new teammates?
Yeah, you know, I mean, obviously here in front of our home fans, you know, he understands that the mission, you know, everybody does. So, you know, for him to be available off the bench, and, you know, that's a huge knock for us right there.
Alek Manoah, a cap tip for him, really dug deep tonight, 6 2/3. What can you say about the way he performed for you guys, given what he's been through over the last 24 hours?
He was huge. You know, that's a start that our team absolutely needed to have, and, you know, he's been our guy for that all year round, and, you know, he did it again.
3 games against the Rays, 2 victories. What did this series feel like so far for you guys? Because I know it certainly felt like a playoff atmosphere right now.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you know, that's a great ball club over there, and you know, it's going to be a fight all the way up until the end. So it's a good day to split, but it's on to tomorrow.
It's also a long day. We'll let you go, George. Enjoy this one. Rest up. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
George Springer and the Blue Jays take the nightcap of this doubleheader. Guys?
Hazel, a lot of people will sleep well tonight, your hosts included. If I may volunteer that. Joe, it's been a long day, but an enjoyable one. And we look ahead to tomorrow night as Ross Stripling gets the ball in the 4th of this 5-game series. Hope you'll join us on Sportsnet as we send it back to Ken and Ivanka.
Guys.